Hi again, guys. There was drama and drama and drama and drama. Hi, no. Hi, yeah, but now when it comes to a case or the Kosenzo Meyewa case, guys, there are a lot of shenanigans that are ongoing there. Today we were supposed to have Mulder, Hendrik Mulder, Hendrik Louis Mulder, who would have come back and testified. You know what I'm saying about accused number 2. This guy used to be he is an HR manager where it's Banye Gold, where accused number 2 used to work at. Okay, there comes a bank statement, and the problem with the bank statement is that I told you guys, Capitec has got a problem. Bank statement that's a Capitec, it's easily editable. Like in the black market, guys, I could have taken shortcut even this year early. I was provided with those shortcuts to edit a statement I know. But I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it will catch up with you later on. Now, they asked a specific question in that bank statement. There was a loan that he took, Corner Capitec. But that loan is not reflected there. And I'm sitting here like, Jani. This guy took a loan at Capitec. It must reflect. Number 2, this guy paid, was it Lobola, during those times as well. That is supposed to be reflected on the bank statement. But all of those transactions are now quiet. And you're sitting here like, this guy has said it even way before the statement was provided that in my bank statement, this is what you're going to find. Appears like other people heard that and they were like, let's go edit that, remove that part. Because I'm definitely sure we should find that in the bank statement. For the fact that we are not getting that, it proves how dirty the state is willing to look to, how much dirty games they are willing to play just to win this case. Are you going to tell me that this is a fair trial? I'm going to tell you this is not a fair trial. At all. But we need to unpack. You and I have a date. So take your chairs, relax, let's break this down for you. Provided that you're interested. If you are, then please stick around. As you stick around, I'm requesting you guys to do these 3 things for me. And that is, you subscribe, you like the video, and you comment in the comment section below. Well, Bongs, why should I do all these things, Bongan? Come on, you always tell me to do those things. You always tell us to do those things. Well, okay, you need to do it because if you do this, the benefit is that, first of all, the benefit of liking this video, taking to 1,000 likes, watching this video till the end, commenting in the comment section below, sharing this video, watching the ads. The benefit is that it forces the algorithm to say, wow, so people are watching this video longer, engaging in this video, sharing this video. It means this video is good. Then it forces the algorithm to share it with more people. Now, do you understand that the power is in your hands? Oh, yeah, please exercise that. We're not going to talk about people that exercise their powers in the wrong way. I am not happy with the state. Do you have access? Do you have access to company records, Mulder? Yes. What is the record? The record indicates the computer record of Ntanzi, the Ronfontein mine. This contract was terminated on February. Blah 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 blah. Let's leave that one. That one is not no longer important anymore. Right? We were told about this guy, but I'm going towards where there is now a chaos, right? Mulder get there and then the chaos start where today now there is a statement where advocate Ramasepede asked the question to say Anischele kwenzakalani lana and all the stuff. Now the state today decided that they want to read Ntanzi's bank record. However, his lawyer or attorney, what's the difference between lawyer and attorney? Please explain. So he objected that all defense counsels, they objected this thing to say, why are you doing this to us? Then Advocate Ramasepede was like, I need to take instruction from my client, and you know what I'm saying. about the transactions that are not depicted in this statement that you are now talking about. And then again, Advocate Ramasepede says, when we look at the record furnished to us, those records of the 25th of October transactions are not reflected in this statement. Due to financial constraints, I can't hire a chartered accountant. Well, to those that don't know, simply called CA, chartered accountant. This therefore needs, and I was like, I've got a solution for this thing. Because this guy said, and number two, there are many ways to prove this. Remember, in South Africa, I need to break down this for a lot of people so that you can understand. Remember, according to the South African Constitution, if this was about lobola, all you need for us to determine whether you are married or not, according to the South African Constitution, we can take the letter. If things were done during the 25th or the 25th of October, 2014, that week, we can take the letter, we can find the letter. That letter says it can be used as a confirmation that you are married to that person. So if ever there was a lobola negotiations between you and that person, what usually happens, it goes into a court, and that marriage, if I'm not mistaken, is recognized as in community of property. Right. That's why these days clever people, they start by going to sign, then end by lobola, because they understand the law now. But nevertheless, so we can find that later. If the negotiations were done during that week, then it still proves the point that there was lobola negotiations. Then we can force them to now to tell us about this money, right? Then the second way that I saw that we can solve this problem is that we can ask the bank, because he said he took a loan from Capitec. So we can go to the companies that provide your credit score, right? We can ask them a question to say, is this guy, because by now he should have been in areas or almost blacklisted, I don't know, something like that. So we can take his credit record, look into his credit record. If a loan from Capitec appears there, if it appears now, it should be highlighted with red word. Look, those words should be red. That shows that he's behind in areas. You know what I'm saying? It should show there. If you check your credit score, and then if part of the things that he's behind with it's his loan, then we can ask Capitec to say, if that does Bongani Ntanzi owe you anything? If Bongani Ntanzi doesn't owe, if you say Bongani Ntanzi doesn't owe you, but in the credit score it says Bongani Ntanzi owe you, then you must give us a letter where we will clear his name. Are you doing away with that loan? To get a point, we put them into a corner by that. Number three, we can ask them to give us a letter that confirms that he doesn't owe them. You know what I'm saying? And then if we check into their system, we shouldn't find a loan. Did you get a point? If we find a loan, then we can arrest anybody that gave us that official record. Do you see the point? But we know for a fact that even if they want to clear that record, it is impossible. So there are ways. Remember, when you are doing a loan, it gets registered and it's a system. This thing is a system. Even a person who is at FNB can see that you took a loan at Capitec. You know what I'm saying? So we can find it one way or the other. We're gonna find it. So there are many ways to kill a cat. When it comes to Bongani Ntanzi, we can crack it. I don't know. That's just me. I was looking at it. I was like, I see other options that I can take here. I can maneuver easy here. You know what I'm saying? I can just, I can just bring this and this and I'm using this logic. It's logic to me because if you listen to Lambasta Stein, he used available resources to determine the calls from accused number 1 to 5 and Kelly Kumalo. Remember that he used unavailable resources such as this thing called Truecaller. He used it with other method as well. So to get what I'm trying to say, I'm saying there is this available route that we can use. So if you push Capitec and you ask Capitec head office about this, you ask them to give you a letter where you put them you give them an ID number, you ask them to confirm in a letter that he doesn't owe them a net. If a person they know the implications of that. People understand that if they put their signature there and say this did not happen, and it's found to have happened, if you are a chartered accountant, you can lose your job because you are no longer credible. You are no longer honest. So people who are in that sphere, they understand that they cannot afford to do that. So if they refuse to do that, that means there is to see. That's me. I was like, I can crack this. I can just use this part, this other part, push them into a corner, ask the head office to confirm. Leave the other one, that is a branch manager. I leave that one. I will go straight to the head office, and that's how I think we can crack the issue of Bongani Ntanzi without having to use expensive resources. I will only think about the chartered accountant if I will only think about it if ever there is. I will only think about it if ever there is. Somebody is calling me, guys. Hey. I'll only think about it if ever I am, or if ever I was cornered in that way. You know what I'm saying? That's when I will think about the chartered accountant. But for now, I'll just use the other available method. That's me. I did that in the past where I wrote to FNB offices, where at FNB, I told them that I've got this and this problems because talking to the local branch manager wasn't helping me. When the call was coming from the head office to the branch manager, things changed. So those are available resources that I think we can use to crack this case. But at this particular juncture, I think that accused number 2 being Bongani Ntanzi's bank statement has been edited. We know that. Now, I've had people who said, all you need to edit that bank statement is you need an Adobe. Like somebody showed me that he once deceived his wife by editing his own payslip using an Adobe Photoshop, manipulated the payslip, manipulated even his bank statement and make it collaborate. And then he showed the wife that this is the salary I'm earning, lowered the salary, and the wife left him only to find out he's earning a higher salary than the salary that. So I'm saying that's why I can stand here and say this bank statement is edited. Now, I am saying all of this, please bear in mind, okay, allegedly. Let's use the word allegedly. Right. I'm saying this because Bongani Ntanzi said it even before, that there was this and this and this that you're going to find in my bank statement. It cannot be that now it's suddenly become a coincidentally his bank statement does not reflect that. It's impossible. Highly impossible. That is where I'm saying this is no longer a fair trial, right? So yes, I think those are available resources. Now, I don't know about the route of hiring a chartered accountant. You know what I'm saying? So, and number 2, I don't know, because there is a branch manager that is supposed to come and testify as well about this, about the bank statement. So the question that we need to ask is that is it he or she willing to risk career going to lie? If he does that and is found to have lied, are they not gonna arrest him? Because what I will do, man, I'll focus on these people as well. If I had resources, I'll just investigate the person who's coming to testify and make sure that is not telling the. If the person who's coming to testify is the branch manager, I will go gather information. As soon as it's done testifying, I'll bring the other information as well, and then bring contrary information. Then that person, you know that in the banking sector, you lied, you are out. So to get a point, those are the options that I think they are available. So now says he will ask a friend for help to check her workplace bank to check if the transaction reflect on Ntanzi's the local bank dated statement, which is nice also to take the route of going into the company, finding the payslip, and then checking the entrance, the money entrance from the company, coming into Ntanzi's bank account as well. To say those things as well. I think it's going to be interesting. But if they can manipulate this bank statement, chances are they've already manipulated payslips on the other side. But you can still catch them. It's not. This one is not a trans match. I can still get them on this one. Very, very simple to get them on this one. And I'll put them in the corner. And some people who lied will lose their jobs for lying. This one, that's when I was like, Advocate Ramasipira, I wish you can just make a call to me and say, what are the available options? I'll just say, take this, take this, take this. The options that I've just showed you now. Well, I used to sell houses, so I know how to work with bank and make sure that a person qualifies. I used to sell houses under C marketing. Look, I was working under C marketing. When our offices were at Gandhi Square, they moved to next to Clearwater Mall. Those people robbed me, by the way. I sold a house in Thunder Bay at about 430,000. I was supposed to get a commission of 10%, and they robbed me. I'm just giving you a background that I've been into that. I know that property has got man. I worked for that company. They robbed me. They never paid me. C marketing, you still owe me. And I kept quiet. They robbed me a client who is my friend who works at the police station. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I still remember. That was my side hustle, but it had a lot of money. They robbed me. But again, now it says, now the entry account book referred to the subsection 1 may be proved that a criminal proceeding upon more or mere production at such proceeding of a document reporting to be an affidavit made by any person who in that affidavit alleges. Reading that statement now into record will put me in a corner, says Advocate Ramasepedi. But I like the response from the lawyer, from the judge, was a complete different turnout. And I was like, okay, it makes sense. So they read these subsections here that says that a copy of such an entry set out in an affidavit or in 1995, 133 and 133. An exposure thereon is a correct copy of such an entry, blah, blah, blah. You know, those legal terminologies which we are not gifted in. The ones who are gifted in are the likes of Advocate Tobane. So I'm not Advocate Tobane. So Advocate Tobane will assist us on that one. But nevertheless, let me, before we continue, guys, yeah, I will get into this one as well, which is a third party, blah, 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 blah. Give me time. So yes, whilst we are there, it says any third party at the proceeding in question against whom evidence is adduced in terms of the section or against whom it is intended to adduce evidence in terms of this section, it continues to say, may, upon an order of the court before which the proceedings are pending, inspect the original of the entry in the question and account or look and any account book in which such entry appears or which such entry forms part. As such part may make copies of such entry, and the court shall, upon the application of the party concerned, adjourn the proceeding for the purpose of such inspection or making of such copies. Thank you for those adjourn and adduced. Okay, those are legal terms. So I am not gonna tolerate these big terms. Well, technically I can't explain them. That's why I can't tolerate them. Yeah, okay. Ramasepede says that a loan that's applied for during the time covered by the statement, but it's not reflected in the statement. Then Judge Ratamakwatlang says, if not reflected, it means it was never done or it was done from a different account number. This is why I have a problem. And I was like, Judge. We know for a fact that the statement, like I said, Guti, these things are done, you know. Look, I know a case of fraud where I think it was in Brixton. Yeah, I think there's a court in Brixton, of Joburg side. This lady was arrested where they faked pay slips together with the bank statement. So we know. So allegedly, that was faked. Allegedly. Baloi bank records upon banks upon submission prima facie proof of the transaction recorded therein. Therefore, we must submit this document ought to have been accepted into record. Ramaseperi says, I know, I need to approach my clients. Then upon return, he says, Ntanzi insist that, he had this is the only account that he have, but that there is a loan deposit which is not reflected on the statement. Then Ramaseperi asked for a 10-minute adjournment. And, okay, let me say this. Ntanzi said it before that the bank statement is going to prove him that he was there. Suddenly that information went missing. I'm not gonna say anything. The bank record states once entered into of Ntanzi from the 25th to the 27th of October. Ramaseperi, accused number 2, states he had certain ceremonies to perform before obtaining a loan from Capitec. We don't see that reflected here. Judge says no, he never made such, and then says, local judge. Now, guys. So the judge then asked this question. Judge asking Advocate Ramaseperi, you have a right to challenge this statement, but you cannot stop the state from leading the evidence. You have a right to subpoena. The state submits there was a transaction from the 25th to the 28th of October. That was a little bit confusing, right? Don't worry. Let's go on a little bit. So obviously the state then allowed to proceed with the bank statement. It says that the essence of the statement is that there was no transaction that were made on Ntanzi's bank account on the 25th until the 28th, right? I've made a mistake on the previous one. So we said, okay, the state then says that the point where the state then says, we are now dealing with the case within a case, a trial within a trial, not a case within a case. Yeah, it just proves that I'm not an attorney. What's the difference between an attorney and a lawyer? Why others are called attorneys and others are called lawyers? Well, guys, honestly speaking, Pelatina, when you grow up, anybody that works in that space, we call them a lawyer. So now there's another word, attorney. But Baloi says the state is at the point where they want to present a confession pointing out made by accused number 1, Moses Bia. We are also in position of 2 confession by accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi. The state will also lead evidence on warning statement. Right. This is where it gets funny. I did make a video, and when I made a video about the confession of accused number 2, others were saying that's an old story. I remember people saying that's an old story. Why are you talking about it? And I kept saying to you, the things that are in the past will determine the outcome of the future of this trial. So I zoomed into look at that confession, and I showed you loopholes in that confession. You must go and check the video here that says Bongani Ntanzi confessed. That video has the information that now the state is intending to lead people on, and I did prove many inconsistency about Bongani Ntanzi's confession, right? So then it's a trial within a trial and blah, blah, blah. Yes, so I'm not going to waste your time talking about this trial within a trial concept or this thing of a confession. But what we did saw in the court today, we saw people sitting out there doing some shenanigans that they were not supposed to do. We saw the incompetence of our state. We saw how much of a mockery are we, where things like we keep coming back to this issue of the defense not being finished with document. And when they are finished with documents, the documents are not in order, or let me give an example. I don't think I don't know whether it was Advocate Tobane in my comment that was making this example. I don't know. I think that's not him. But what we know, it was Advocate Timnis, where he was speaking about this. They were supposed to be given the documents from the beginning. When you are saying, we have arrested so-and-so, and we are saying these are our people that we need to prosecute. What you then do, you hand over all the necessary document. The moment the trial begins, I think you do it in what it's called pre-trial. In pre-trial, you hand the document. That was the advocate of Mnis, or from Mnis. Today, you see that this thing is going and stopping. And Mnisi had said that the state must provide them with all the necessary information concerning this case, because they said they are ready. The moment you say you are ready to prosecute people, it means you have concluded your investigation. So what is it that makes you not to give documents when you're supposed to give documents on time? Number two, when this question was raised by Advocate Mshololo on this case, she had asked this, and the judge had said that Baloi wouldn't have done this. Why will Baloi compromise the career he built all these years? I want to ask this question again. Is Baloi being fair to give them statement now, and those statements, there's information that is missing? Will you blame the defense when they now cause an adjournment that Thursday there's not going to be a case because of who? The state. Advocate Baloi has never given them the documents on time. So you can't necessarily blame the defense. This stop and goes will continue until the court decides to make an order. An order that says any documents that is needed for the purpose of this trial, let it be given now to the defense. The court must make that clear, that thing. But otherwise, we will do what we are doing right now. Stop and go. Stop and go. And the others, then they blame the defense. The defense, they don't know what they are doing. If they know what they are doing, what are they supposed to do? Guys, if they want to win this case for their clients, they need to do what is necessary. They need to represent their clients. And the word represent means speaking on behalf of someone, right? Or doing something on behalf of someone. Look, from what you know, from a logical perspective, how will you represent somebody if you are finished with a document, that even if you are finished with a document on Monday, and then you had to cross-examine somebody on Wednesday? Where will you get the time to get the context? Explain this. Remember that you also need to cross-examine people. You also need to prepare for all the things that are happening on Monday, Tuesday, prior to the Wednesday where you are required to cross-examine somebody on over that information that you are given. Where do you get the time to prepare? But if the documents were given on time, we will be at the position where we blame the defense. But right now, as things stand, you can't blame the defense. You cannot. It's the problem, or the problem comes from the state. Let the state be told, hand over the document that you're supposed to hand over. Give them what you need to give them now. Until then, this is not a fair trial. The state, I don't know who told them that they will convince us by these shenanigans that are going on. But this is not the way things are supposed to. I'm not a lawyer, guys, but I can tell you this. This is not the way things are supposed to be done. This is definitely not the way things are supposed to be done. On top of that, I can now allege that the time when they refused to give out the document, Because by the time to now we get to knew, or we get to knew that, or we get to know that, we got to know that the advocate Ramasepedi had been looking for this bank statement. Look, it has been a while. Even then, he was being promised, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it, but he was never given. Even he put it on record and say, so that my client should know that I did ask. And the judge was asking, are you now putting Advocate Baloi under the bus? He was like, no, but I'm putting it on record because my client thinks that I'm the one who's not willing to give the document. So at least today we both know that is not the one who delayed that. How do you blame them? Do you see that they are being held at hostage on purpose? They want to make them look like to us they are unprepared for the trial. They want to paint the narrative that these folks, they are not prepared for this trial. Therefore, you can chop and change the lawyers and all. But unfortunately, this isn't going to happen. But at the end of it all, we as the public, the court of public opinion, we will still point out facts because facts are facts, and facts are not going to be changed just because somebody is educated enough to be called advocate. Now we need to believe everything that they are doing. No, we're not going to do that. But what we're going to do, simple. We're going to start asking questions and we want answers. If you know that there is a cell phone evidence that is to be given to why don't you give them the papers now? If you know any witness that shall take the stand, we are not supposed to hear that they are not, sorry, that the document are not given or the document were given 3 days ago. What is going on here? It appears like they were never ready from the beginning to continue with the trial. What they are doing, they are busy doing in their investigation as of now. They are busy chopping and changing and trying to come up with witnesses that will align and trying to circumvent the processes by bringing witnesses when they know that, hey, this witness says, hey, messed up with our case. Let's get another witness that will come and fix this by saying this. It appears like exactly like that. Because if the state is not supposed to be having the opportunity of hiding things because they've got a case against these people, why hiding information? But we've been talking about this. But unfortunately, there are those that chose not to believe when we say, something is off with this case. This case is not fair. This is not a fair trial. Not long ago, people are complaining about the judge and say the judge is interfering too much. The judge is now behaving very well. Baloi, holding the other children at hostage. What are we supposed to say? Congratulations, Baloi. You are doing well. No, we're not going to say that. We're definitely not going to say that. I'm seriously not happy with the things that are happening in this case. We can see that the defense is being held at hostage. But I'm going to say this. Even if the statement is edited, we still believe Bongani Ntanzi. He had pointed out this as a fact long time ago. And I know for a fact that if we can go home and find people at home, Bongani Ntanzi, and start trying to find the witnesses if those ceremonies did happen, I'm definitely sure we will find that evidence. That is something that I will advise the defense to do right now. Even if they don't take the route of the statement itself, you just go there, find the people that were at the ceremony where Bongani was, call those witnesses, they come and testify, and then we're done. We move on. And then we tell them that the bank statement must be like this. We already dealt with the bank statement, but I'm saying there's also this option of calling the witnesses there and say, who was there? If it was a Lobola thing, right? It's even better. There is always a paper that is written to the other family and stating the dates when we are coming. Once we agree, there's always that paperwork that is done, even if it's a handwriting. That is enough to prove these liars that, whoa, you are lying. This happened. So where is the money? Where was the money withdrawn? You need to prove to us that, because if he was paying Lobola, there was withdrawals. If there was a ceremony, whether cleansing, there was withdrawals. It's a fact. There was withdrawal from the bank. We need the proof of that. Otherwise, you must charge Bongani Ntanzi for money laundering. Where did he get the money to buy all those things? Do you get what I'm trying to say? With that being said, good people, I love you guys. But please take care. I'm gonna see you on the next video. But until then,